What's up, everyone? Here's the train video. Enjoy it. So let's start off with the first train. This is one of my 3 or 4 New York Centrals. It's one of the smaller ones. This one did run on my grandpa's train railroad. That's why it has a 3A. That's how he labeled them, so that way you could swap between the trains. This train, I don't think actually ran when I last was there, aka when we tore it down. Let's not get into that. But this specific train did not actually work or run. Sorry. I think the motor blew up in it. I remember him telling me something. My grandpa told me something like one of the New York Centrals, the motor just went bad, and then one actually almost caught on fire. So this is one of many of the New York Centrals. I don't have much history on this one, but just some small facts. Train 2 is the CSX. This one is one of my favorites at the moment. It never actually ran, or I didn't run it at least. It is one of the bigger, more powerful engines. But this one didn't actually run at the time. So I think the motor went bad. I'm not too sure, but I mean, still a nice looking engine. So yeah, this is one of my favorites. For our third train, I know, he looks a little bit psycho. This was my first train that I ever ran on my grandpa's railroad. This was a Thomas the Train engine. It did run, it did have moving eyes, but now he's a mere psycho, and he doesn't have eyes. He doesn't even have a soul. So I'm sorry, buddy. I love you. For our fourth train, I actually ran this one. This was the Gold and Stone Mine train. It ran like under the layout, so it was on like a different piece of track, and it was just really cool. It didn't have that much power. It also sparked, but it was just cool. And it's cute because it's so shiny. For our fifth train, we have the B&O chassis system. I don't know if I said that wrong. But this used to be my sister's locomotive, and it's a big, long, powerful locomotive. Very cool, very unique. It also came with its own caboose at the end. Maybe I'll show that in the end, but yeah, another very cool, long, powerful train. For our sixth train, we have another New York Central. This train did not, or maybe it did run, I'm not sure. Either it did or it didn't run. I think it did. I think it was one of my cousin's locomotive, but another very cool. I like this red lining. It's unique, and it really makes it stand out. I like it on like that front. It makes it look kind of mean, but yeah, it's just the normal, like, standard thing. Here, I'll grab the other one real quick. Side by side, nothing too different. This one has red, this one just has silver. They're the same kind of train, same little like model, I guess, just in different colors. So yes, very cool. For our seventh, another one of my favorites. This one is the Valley Turno Place. I probably butchered that. This one did not run. I think the motor went bad. It probably did run back when I wasn't alive or I was just too young. But this is one of my favorites. I'm a fan of locomotives and just coal locomotives, I guess. And it's just very like cool how heavy these locomotives are. It's just so fascinating, and I love it. Another one of my favorites. Yes, the TP&W, our 8th train. This train was one of my cousins. It was also like just the spare train that just hauled cars around if a train's motor stopped working, burned out, or just exploded. So this was one of the like extras. I guess someone just like took it over. Oh, that's sad. The railing. No, I'm sorry. Stop it. As I was saying, this was one of my cousins, and I guess this one just still ran, cause I think I did run it, but before we took the railroad down. So yes, this one will run. I just don't have the pieces, parts, or track for it, so I'm kind of bummed out about that. For our 9th train, I actually ran this locomotive. It's another one of my favorites. Again, I just like locomotives in general. I also do like some diesel engines, but this one was the transporter. I think it had people cars, and it was I ran it, and it was so cute, but it takes a lot of power. I remember we had to put the track on high voltage mode because this thing took a lot of power. I still don't know why, but it just took a lot of power. Another one of my favorites. Finally, the Pennsylvania. This did not run. It was next to that one over there. And these two just sat at the turntable yard, aka the turntable slash shed yard, and it just sat there. I don't know if it ran. I think it did, but then the motor went out. I'm not sure. Maybe it just didn't get enough use. I'm not sure. But another one of my favorites because it is a steam locomotive. Finally, we get to my car. Or my locomotive, sorry. This was after Thomas stopped working for me. I got a little bit older. I think I was 5 when I first got assigned this locomotive. It is a Northern Folk Southern. Kind of cool. It's very clean. I kept it very nice. The hand railings are still intact for the most part. I think that one is starting to come off. Yep, nope. Nope. Darn it. Never mind. It's not so clean now. Not so clean. But this one, it did have a lot of power, but not too much power like that one over there, the one in the center. And it was just a nice, clean, get the job done, have fun locomotive. I love this one still to this day. Okay, another one of my cousins. So this was, it's similar to the New York Centrals. And this one, it has like the same body as it, but it's a nickel plate road. Not heard much about that one. But this was one of my cousins, and my cousins didn't really run it that much, so I eventually took it over. This was very fun, and it didn't take a lot of power. It was more like a slower engine, but still, it was so much fun. Yes. This locomotive. I think that this was one of my cousins too, because I remember it running at some point. I ran it at some point too, but it was just a nice, cool, long, powerful locomotive, just like the other two ones, like the CSX and the B&O chassis system. I think I butchered that again. But this one was super cool. I enjoyed running it. It was just a long, powerful, you could hook up almost as many cars as you wanted. And it was just very cool. I love it. And finally, our last train. This one is my favorite. It is the big boy New York Central. This one came with its custom carriages, and I just love it. It's long, it's powerful, and it's original, I think. I'm not sure, actually. Don't quote me on that, please. And I just love it. I never actually got to run it, which I'm super sad. But it sat in, like, the back. There was this, like, small track that just held, like, this locomotive in all of its cars. So I love this thing. Here's a train that I didn't show. This was another one of my sisters after that chassis system didn't work anymore. I think the motor burned out. It's so sad. The railing, the poor railing. But this was originally my sister's. Here, I'll pull the body off for you. So that's the inside. This one actually broke too, but it didn't run after the railway was torn down. So kind of sad, but it's a Union Pacific, a very nice train. Again, here are all the cars to that New York Central that you just saw. It goes all the way from here, which is like close to that post, all the way to there. I think last time I measured, it was like 14 feet total, so very long. That's a very powerful engine, but these cars aren't super heavy, so it was kind of light weight to pull. So here are the carriages to the Thomas locomotive. Sorry for the noise. Our like drink fridge is cooling. It's in ourself right now. So yeah, these are the original cars to that Thomas locomotive, and I put these cars in here. These didn't come with it. My grandpa just had them laying around. So that middle locomotive, these are the people cars for it. It was that high voltage red car one, and that's the caboose for it. This was a lot of fun to play with, and I just remember having a lot of fun with it. These are the gold and quarry, aka rock cars for that red car here. That's the gold. It's just like glued down like pebbles and just golden like glitter, I guess. So like kind of funny, but kind of cool. Like I kind of like it a lot. Here's that chassis system caboose. Very cool, very unique. Here is one of the New York Central system box cars. I think it went to one of the like brother models, the models that I had two of, not the big boy. Very cool. I like it.